Hi, Juai. Hi, freelancers. For those of you who are not familiar with our blog.freelancing.ph, we are running an interview series featuring successful contractors in the Philippines. Today, we are so excited because we're doing something different. For one, this is our very first video blog, and we have with us a special guest from the other side of the fence who will be sharing her insights as a client working with a virtual assistant. She'll give us some tips and advice on what clients are looking for in a freelancer. So without further ado, Juai, please introduce our lovely guest this morning.
That's right, Kat. We are indeed lucky to have Angie with us today. Angie hails from Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. She currently works as a project coordinator for a private clinical setting and at the same time studying a Bachelor of Psychology and an advanced diploma of naturopathy. On top of that, she has with her over 10 years experience in project management and business marketing working within a national multimedia corporation.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me.
So Angie, you've mentioned before that you have had the chance to work with a virtual assistant. Just so we're on the same page, can you tell us what for you is the definition of a VA?
Well, I think that a virtual assistant is somebody that you can outsource that's obviously not in your office or not even in the country, that works from home, that can assist you online.
Thanks for defining that for us, Angie. So, based from your experience, how did you know you actually needed the services of a virtual assistant?
I think that anyone can use a virtual assistant. What it was for me is that my workload was too much and I needed to delegate some tasks, and I knew that it would be handy if I could have someone to just assist me to lighten the load a little bit.
You mentioned about delegation. Can you tell us a little bit more about what specific tasks you assign to your virtual assistants?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually quite a range of things. So she takes care of everything to do with office support, but that can mean everything from data entry to data analysis, creating spreadsheets, online content, graphic design, creating marketing materials like brochures, newsletters. She also does invoicing and accounts. It's just, the list goes on with the different things that she does.
Wow, that's a long list you've got there. Which brings me to my next question. I'm sure many of our audience would like to hear your thoughts on this. When hiring a virtual assistant, what skills, experience, or traits do you usually look for? Say you get 20 applications. How do you weed out the good candidates, and how do you know which VA to hire?
I think communication skills is obviously a massive part of it because it's online and you're only speaking to them via email or via Skype. You need to have great communication skills and attention to detail. I honestly think that they're probably the two main things, being having a lot of attention to detail, and time management as well is also good. Being able to prioritize tasks and get things done to a deadline.
Wow, those are great tips for all our aspiring freelancers out there. I sure hope you guys are taking down a lot of notes from this interview. So Angie, my next question is, can you share a real-life experience wherein your virtual assistant has contributed something of value either to you or your business?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a role where I have to get a lot of different things done. So I do marketing, business expansion, and sort of project management. There's a lot of things that I need done immediately and I'm constantly under the pump, and I have been able to fire so many different jobs to my virtual assistant. She's able to prioritize everything, get everything done on time. One thing that I absolutely love too is her attention to detail. So it's really helpful having a virtual assistant because when you are under the pump, it's an extra set of eyes looking over your work. And so sometimes if I miss something or I'm, maybe I'm running behind on a project, she can see that, and so she'll remind me or help me through. It's absolutely crucial to to my work.
That's great. You clearly sound like you're highly satisfied with the VA you're working with right now. So, my next question is a little more personal. Do you prefer to keep conversations with your virtual assistant strictly work related, or do you try and build a relationship with them?
Oh no, I try to build a relationship because I think that that's really important. It's exactly the same as anyone else who's working in your office. Our virtual assistant comes to our weekly office meetings via Skype on the computer, and she sits in on them as well. Because I think it's really, really important when it's a virtual assistant's being used by everybody in the team. It's important that they feel that they are a part of the team. So personally, I like to get to know her, and yeah.
Good to hear that. Your VA is indeed very lucky. But can you share some thoughts on how you keep your working relationship positive and healthy?
I think by, positive feedback. To be honest, I've had such a wonderful experience with my virtual assistant that everything she does I just think is fantastic. So I really make sure that I always let her know when she's doing a great job, when she's really helping me out, or if I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and when she was helping me to alleviate that stress, I always let her know things that are going on with me and how she's helping. So yeah, so it sort of keeps a positive vibe about it, I suppose.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I work as a freelancer myself, and each time I get a praise or a pat on the back from my client, it just really lifts my mood, inspires me to work harder, and like what you said, it just creates that positive vibe and makes the working relationship more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that it should be, I personally don't think that it should be strictly business, because I don't have relationships like that with people in my office. So why would I have it with someone just because I only speak to them via Skype? Yeah.
Absolutely agree. So, Angie, we're down to our final question. What tips or advice can you share to aspiring Filipino virtual assistants out there to help them get hired and offered a long term career with a client?
Well, probably the three main things that I think are the communication, attention to detail, and time management. I think that they're fantastic attributes, and not just for virtual assistants, but for anyone in any career in general. But I know something that with our virtual assistant, something that has made her irreplaceable was the way that she really got to know the company. So she did her research into what was working well, what we needed improving on, and really got to know our needs as a whole. So even though we weren't asking her specifically to do that, because she was able to point out, oh, this particular project, we could do this to make this better. It's just fantastic. She's brought so much more than, just the assistant side of things where it's delegation. And I feel that enthusiasm, has made her irreplaceable for us.
That is very important. So let me do a quick recap of what Angie just told us. Freelancers out there, be sure you have excellent communication skills, strong attention to details, great time management, but more importantly, it's going the extra mile, getting to know the company as a whole, suggesting ideas or process improvements that you think can benefit your clients. Did I get it right, Angie?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously you don't want to do work that you're not being paid for or anything like that. Just that little bit of extra care, and maybe a little bit that little extra attention to what their needs might be before they even realize it. I think that that's really valuable. Yeah.
And that is the secret to landing and maintaining a long-term career with a client. So thank you, Angie. That was highly insightful. Thank you for sharing those inside information on how clients choose their virtual assistants. I'm sure our audience will have a lot of takeaways from this. But before we let you go, it has been our little interview tradition to ask a bonus question to our guests. So I did my research and I found out that you are into holistic health and yoga. I practice yoga myself, and my favorite pose is the Padma Machasana or Lotus and Fish pose. Can you tell us what your favorite yoga pose is?
I actually don't have a favorite. To be honest, I do Bikram yoga, so that's where it's really, really hot and you sweat a lot.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love it. I actually was having a lot of health problems and a lot of back problems. And somebody said, "Oh, you should try yoga." And I started doing it, and it's absolutely cured me. It's fantastic. I'm so unflexible, but anybody who thinks they should try it.
Same here, same here. I agree with everything you said, but I have yet to try Bikram yoga myself because it's quite hot here in the Philippines, and I'm not sure I can tolerate the heat.
It's probably hot enough. Just normal yoga is hot enough.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So, the last words?
No, good luck. Good luck, everybody. Finding a good
Great.
job.
Mm-hmm.
It was really wonderful to have Angie here with us today. She has really given us wonderful insights.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.
And it is our honor to have you with us. So, that is all the time we have. Thanks again, Angie. And to all our freelancers and readers out there, you may also check our show notes below this video. And stay tuned for our next interview. If you have thoughts or questions, please post them on the comment section. And if you have more questions for Angie, we'll gladly pass it along. Bye, guys. Happy freelancing.